Hello everyone, it's Navi, and I'm a little late to this topic, but I still think it's worth discussing, so let's get into it. On January 26th, GIDLE released their second teaser for their new song Super Lady, and it received a lot of negative attention. And that's because in the video, Soyeon is heard saying, Now if you're a normal, decent person, you either A, were able to understand what she said and moved on with your day, or B, didn't understand, questioned it, got your answer, and then moved on with your day. But there were others who were not as kind when talking about her accent, saying things like, please end this war on deciphering gibberish, is that even English, and we need to start gatekeeping languages until they get to an 1,000-day Duolingo streak. Though they were being very creative with their disses, they're still being very xenophobic by mocking her accent. When confronting these people, their only defense is, well, Soyeon knows English, so she should be doing better. And while I can't really find anything that clearly states she does, learning and nailing another language's pronunciation is not a skill that you get and have forever. It's something you constantly have to work on, and sometimes even if you work on it, there's only so much you can do. And the phrase she's saying, let's go, I'm fearless, we came to take win, is such a hard phrase when you're looking at it from the point of view of someone who speaks Korean as their first language, because it contains sounds that don't exist or don't have an exact translation. First of all, there is no official W sound in Korean. For words with the W sound like woo, it's actually pronounced as oo, but because of how quickly it's said, it sounds like woo. I know that sounds a little confusing, but from what I've read, it's said to be more accidental than intentional. Then there's the L sound that's already infamous since so many idols in the past have struggled with pronouncing it. And Soyeon already proved last week that she struggles with it when she did her parts in the song Wife. Then there's the F sound in Fearless. In Korean, it would be pronounced with the P sound instead, since that's the closest to the F sound they have in their alphabet. This is why LE SSERAFIM's fandom named Fear Not turns into Piona when they talk to their Korean fans, because it's a lot easier to pronounce for them. So after knowing all this and hearing her say it, I think she's doing a pretty good job. Believe it or not, Soyeon is Korean, so her first language is gonna be Korean. She's not a native speaker, so of course her accent isn't going to be the greatest. But even then, and maybe this is just my experience with growing up with someone who has a thick accent, what she was saying wasn't even that hard to understand. So the people who were playing dumb and making fun of her sound a lot like the Trump supporters who tell people like my dad, for example, to go back to their country. And maybe that sounds like a stretch, but once you look at these tweets with that context, they start to sound a lot like the people who stormed the US Capitol real fast. I think a lot of people think saying shit like this to her is okay because they don't like her. And if you don't like her, that's fine. Whether it's her history or she just rubs you the wrong way, I don't care what your opinion of her is. But it will never be okay to make fun of someone's accent. I keep seeing people not take this seriously because she's a celebrity and in a position of power, and nothing like the immigrants who struggle with assimilating. But to me, if you're able to say these ugly things to people at the top, there's no way you don't think like this towards those who are at the bottom and who are struggling. You're just a lot more quiet about it because you don't want to admit that you're just as racist as Trump supporters.